Improving Corporate Governance in Trinidad and Tobago. Module number 2. Introduction to Corporate Governance. Introduction to Corporate Governance Best Practice. Welcome to the Energy Chamber's online course in Corporate Governance, which aims to improve the practice of corporate governance in Trinidad and Tobago. This module, An Introduction to Corporate Governance, is designed as an orientation to newly appointed directors. However, experienced directors may also find it useful as a refresher and as a guide to best practice. This module will provide you with a general understanding of basic corporate governance principles and practices that all directors ought to know, regardless of the type of board on which they serve. Learning objectives. To improve understanding of corporate governance principles. To understand the role of the board as distinct from the role of management. To be aware of the duties and responsibilities of directors. To recognize the features of an effective board. To increase awareness of the rights of owners. Overview of corporate governance. Corporate governance is the system by which companies are directed and controlled. As discussed in the other modules in this online suite of programs, corporate governance involves a set of relationships between a company's management, its board, its shareholders, and other stakeholders. Corporate governance also provides the structure through which the objectives of the company are set, and the means of attaining those objectives and monitoring performance are determined. Good corporate governance should provide proper incentives for the board and management to pursue objectives that are in the interests of the company and its shareholders, and should facilitate effective monitoring. There are three principal actors in corporate governance. 1. The owners. They provide the capital which managers use to create value for customers and shareholders. Owners delegate responsibility to management through the board. 2. Directors. They act as stewards or guardians of the company's assets. They oversee management and report to the owners or shareholders. 3. Managers. They act as agents for the owners. They use the resources of the company to achieve the results that owners expect and report to the directors. The distinction between these roles is particularly important when a company's owners, example the shareholders, are different from its managers. Primary benefits of corporate governance. These include improved access to external financing. Good corporate governance systems attract investment from global investors, which subsequently leads to greater efficiencies in the financial sector. Lowers the cost of capital. Investors who are provided with high levels of disclosure by well-governed companies are likely to provide capital to those companies at lower costs. Improves operational performance. Effective corporate governance adds value by improving companies' performance through more efficient management and better asset allocation. Increases firm valuation and share performance. Research indicates that investors are willing to pay an additional price, a corporate governance premium, for shares in well-governed companies. Reduces the risk of corporate crises and scandals. A company with good corporate governance practices will, by definition, have an effective risk management system that is more likely to cope with corporate crises and scandals. Corporate governance is founded on 4 key principles. Transparency. It consists of the obligation to inform the owners about the performance of the company and the direction in which it is developing, as well as accountability for the use of company resources. Managers must seek information about their goals and expectations for the short, medium, and long term. Fairness. It is the fair and equitable treatment to all shareholders of the company, a significant pillar of trust between the parties. The equitable treatment of other stakeholders in the company, employees, customers, creditors, suppliers, is a key element in its success and prosperity. Accountability. The persons elected or appointed by the shareholders to ensure the interests of the company must be accountable to their constituents for all acts performed in the exercise and performance of its mandate. Corporate responsibility. Directors and officers must ensure the perpetuity of the organization, adopting a vision for growth and long-term viability. This must therefore be incorporated into the definition of the strategies and activities of the business considerations of social and collective.